The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we're live. We got a man to my left who really needs no introduction, for he is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops. What's good, Pops?
Anytime we get here talking boxing, I should get out of bed. Anytime I talk boxing, it's like getting up and talking, having a cup of coffee. I love talking about it. So let's get with the topics and see what's going on in the boxing world.
Absolutely, man. Like you guys know. I mean, it's one thing when you see me, but it's another thing when you see Pops. So it's gonna be an action-packed show when he's in the building. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the main topic of this particular live is gonna be the Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter purse bid, because that was supposed to be today. They were supposed to have the purse bid today on Facebook Live. It hasn't happened. They pushed it back. And I just wanted to kind of talk about that and among other topics in boxing that I'm sure people are going to want to chime in about. But for everybody here, shout out to you. Smash that like button. Give me your comments down below. I'm going to get to comments, and then we'll get to Crawford and Porter after I acknowledge the comments. But shout out to my guy, Avalok. He says, Shawn might back down if the numbers aren't to his liking. Shake my head. Duck season out here. I mean, I hope not. I'm going to give Shawn Porter the benefit of the doubt because he's shown himself to be a true warrior of the sport on many occasions throughout his career. So I'm going to give Shawn Porter the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate your comment. Hey, Susem, what's good, champ? He says, we be live for Mauricio Lara versus Josh Warrington this weekend. Yes, I will. And I got to be live for that fight. We got Adrian Granados versus Conor Benn on that card. So I'll definitely be covering that, and it should be a fun card. Eddie Hearn really did a good job of stacking that card. But let's get to the main topic of the live. Now, Pops, we were very excited about this whole Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford, purse bid.
Right.
Because we all want to know if Terence Crawford will finally get the big welterweight fight that he's been starved of his entire run at welterweight.
Right.
And the news came back. They pushed it back to September the 14th. So 12 days from the time we're shooting this video. Now, there's two ways to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Either A, they're gonna come to an agreement, and they're gonna file. They're gonna come to an agreement, and the fight will be finalized, and boxing fans will get the fight they're looking for. Or B, Shawn Porter and Al Hamer are gonna find a way to duck this fight. So, Pops, I'm gonna ask you. What do you think?
Well, I mean, this has been going on for quite a while, even before this actually came up with the first bid for the Crawford and Shawn Porter thing. I think a couple months before this, Shawn Porter came out with saying that he wanted to fight. If he was going to fight Crawford, he wanted more money for the fight. So he was already making excuses before the first bid came out about this fight. So we already know. For some reason, Shawn Porter, and I'm going to say Shawn Porter more than I say Crawford, lately he's been coming up with excuses for not fighting Crawford. I don't understand why. Just get in the ring. You're going to make your money. You're fighting a top level welterweight, if not one of the best at 147. It was one of the best at 140. And Nebraska's son Crawford. So just go ahead and get it done and forget the bullshit and let's get this fight going.
Absolutely, Pops. And yeah, we want to see it. I was watching the Shawn Porter podcast because they were on the Shawn Porter podcast. They talked about a little bit. Shawn Porter, Jonathan telling all the fine folks over there, and I'm not gonna lie. Something about how Shawn Porter was talking, it just something seemed a bit off. I don't think it's even him. I think Shawn Porter might know something we don't.
You think so?
And the fight might not be happening, but I'm trying to remain optimistic. Yeah. I want to be optimistic. I want to be positive because there's 12 days.
When I hear a fighter come out, prior told us this actually happened with the purse bid and everything. When I hear a fighter already saying, I'm talking about in Shawn Porter's case, when Crawford came out and said, yeah, I'll be willing to fight you, Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter said, well, the money's got to be right. I'm not going to fight you for $5 million or whatever the case was. So when I see that from a fighter like Shawn Porter, I already see excuses behind that. And that's just my own personal opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what a few months back when I seen that. And we're back to this again right now. We don't know what's going to happen with this fight.
No, we don't, man. And it's like, look, I'm gonna look at it optimistically because I feel like there's reason to be optimistic. You know, forget in the PBC stable right now, right? You got Errol Spence and Pacquiao. Right. That was supposed to be the big fight. Pacquiao just lost to Ugas, so even if he comes back, he's probably only going to come back for Ugas or maybe Spence. Yeah. And you know, with Spence, we don't know what's going on with the detached retina. Yeah. If it is real, right, which they say it is, if we take him at his word, you know, the detached. If the injury is that bad, we don't know how much longer he has in his career. So I feel like Al Haymon might actually do to Shawn Porter what he did to Charles Martin all these years ago, and he might just let him fight. You know, just throw him in there with Crawford. And if Porter wins, good for Al Haymon. If Porter loses, then it's no sweat off his back because he still has the guys that he wants in power to promote PBC in the welterweight division.
That's a good thing, but for me, I just think that for anybody that want to fight Crawford and actually do it, and we've been waiting for this for so long, from the PBC side, other side of the road, whatever you want to call it.
Other side of the street, baby. Other side of the street.
And nobody's actually come out and done it. You know, hike up your skirt, Al Haymon, and go ahead and put Shawn Porter out there and see what it's all about. If he's willing to do it, and no excuses, just get it done. If he gets a chance to beat this Crawford, so be it. If he don't, so be it too. But I'm going to tell you right now, Crawford's been hungry to go on just side of the fence and kick some ass. So it's not going to be an easy fight for Shawn Porter. So
yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button. We got Pops in the building. As far as this fight goes, Pops, I think it will get done. The reason I'm also optimistic is because it wasn't like just Top Rank that requested the extension. It was also the Porter side as well. Right. You know, so because both parties requested the extension for the purse bid, I think that will lead me to believe that they will get a deal done. And I'm hoping maybe like by November, December, this fight could happen.
And let's be honest, right now with what happened to Pacquiao, what happened to Spence, and talking about, let's be honest, since that. Before the big so-called big fight between Pacquiao and was supposed to happen, that was a big hype about it. But now that Pacquiao lost to Ugas, Shawn Porter's there, I think one of the biggest fights right now would be Crawford and Shawn Porter. That's what I'm getting at.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to say, but you know, with Spence falling out,
right,
and with the welterweight division not really having a lot of big fights this year. If this fight actually does happen, this is the biggest welterweight fight of the year.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all of a sudden become the biggest welterweight fight of the year. So I think Al knows that. I feel like Top Rank definitely knows that. And this is the conventional wisdom speaking. Mm-hmm. There should be urgency to get this fight done. But we know boxing, we know sometimes the way we see things aren't how the promoters see it, isn't how the managers see it. So, you know, all we can do is just cross our fingers, pray to God, and hope.
And roll out dice, because we know how everything's been going with boxing the last couple of months, weeks, how things been going with fights being cut off or canceled for whatever reason or whatever the case may be. So, but this fight really won because we have not seen, besides Crawford fighting his last fight, we haven't seen him more active. So for him to even get that fight with Shawn Porter, I think it'd be a great fight.
I mean, just being honest, like being objective, Terence Crawford is rated by some people as the pound king of boxing. And if you compare him to the other guy people are rating as pound king boxing, Canelo, you know, since the last time Carl boxed against Kell Brook, you know, Canelo's boxed like 3 or 4 times. So, you know, it's not a good look on Crawford's part, and Crawford has to get active again and remind the world of why people like myself and many boxing aficionados put him as highly as we do. You know?
Right. And one way to do it is get him back into the ring with somebody like Shawn Porter. I think it'd be good for boxing to both just get in there and just get it done. To be honest, no excuses. But I want to hope that what you said is right, BT. That they're both in agreement. The both parties were in agreement with the purse bid, and they pushed it back, and so that is a plus. But I just, for some reason, I just think Shawn Porter doesn't really want a piece of Nebraska's son.
You don't think so?
No.
What,
and I said that.
Why do you say that?
A few months ago, but before all this happened, when they asked, I think it was they asked Shawn Porter, I forgot where they're from. They were saying things like, "Hey, you ready to fight Crawford?" And yeah, I'll fight him, but I want this more money to fight him. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You made more than enough money already. So what the fuck's the matter? Fight the best. And I go back to my cliche: fight the best, beat the best, and you can make more money after that.
Yeah, man. Shawn Porter might need to take notes from his fellow Clevelander, Jake Paul, and just get in that fucking ring and fight.
That's it.
Just get in the ring and fight, man.
And see what happens. I mean,
you know, and not to disrespect Porter, but to the people behind Porter, like Tom Brown and Al Haymon and all parties involved, like, y'all want to know why it's so hard to make these fights happen. Y'all want to know why it's so hard to get these guys to become superstars? It's because nobody knows who they are because they're in the ring once a year.
That's it.
They fight once and then they go on vacation for a year and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Putting the politics and everything else behind it doesn't help it. Just get in the fight. Just get in there and fight.
Absolutely.
See what happens.
We got a couple comments. I wanna address them. I'm not gonna touch the screen because the screen might fall over. But I see you guys in the comments. I'm gonna address y'all one by one. Shout out to my guy Shakur Maria. He says, first of all, how are you guys? And has Pops fixed this car? You always ask that. Has Pops fixed this car?
I just got the parts. All the parts are coming in this week. So hopefully I get it done this weekend.
Hopefully this weekend.
And next time you see me, I told you last time, but I'm making progress. I got the parts.
So things are definitely moving. Shout out to Shakur out there in the UK. Massive love to Shakur. I was just talking to him before we went live. Wow. Shout out to Shakur. Milo Grogan, what's good, Chevy? Says, I don't think we'll ever see Bud and Boo Andrew hit the pinnacle. They can't get a big fight to save their life. And look, man, I'm a huge fan of both fighters. I mean, anybody who watches this channel knows how much I love Demetrius Andrade. They know how much I love Terence Crawford and the skills that they bring to the ring. But, you know, what's that saying, Pops? They say you can bring a horse to the well, but you can make him drink.
That's right.
So that's what it is, man. You could ask and beg and plead for these fighters to hike up their skirts and find the balls in their promoter's purse and fight. But, you know, it's not that simple. It's not as simple as you fight me and I fight you. You know, boxing is a very political game. So it's unfortunate.
That's a good point. He did bring that out. That's true. Both of these fighters, you know, they're not getting treated the way they should be treated. And I don't understand it. Both talented fighters. Both of them got, Boo Andrew got a belt. Crawford, you already know how he is. So
they're not fighting nobody.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But get in the ring and get it done. And I blame a lot of this on the promoters too. Don't get it twisted. And also for the fighters for not wanting themselves to have the fights, to go get the fights and say, okay, let's fight. Because when they ask the fighters, the majority of the time they'll have some fucking bullshit in between.
Say, I'm not promoter, my manager, handle it and all that stuff.
So you can't hate on somebody like, not to change, we were talking about Jake Paul, but we can't hate on Jake Paul when Jake Paul just gets in the ring and fights whatever. And yes, we know he's not the elite of the elites, and he's not really a true professional boxer, but he's out there willing to fight anybody. And that's the problem we have with the boxers today. Someone want to become Madonnas, divas. They want their own friggin' cake and eat it too, and sometimes not like that. And then that's where the fights never get made, and that's why people get pushed back, and that's why their careers never become what they should be.
Absolutely, Pops. And yeah, so like that, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about in regards to Crawford and Porter. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there on it. I'm not really planning on this being a long live today. But I do want to address one thing, all right? I do want to address one thing. Me and Shakur were just talking about it on Instagram before I came on here. So we're gonna address it, and I'll probably cut this part of the video up and make it a video itself. But I wanted to take some time to really just unload on Oscar Valdez. You know, a lot of people have gotten upset with me because I said what I said about Oscar Valdez, and I included Canelo. So I won't even include the cinnamon cement for the hype job in my statements. This is all about Oscar Valdez, okay? Oscar Valdez, before we went live, Oscar Valdez, I saw that his B sample came back positive. I saw that the fight is still going on despite the fact that the A and B sample cleared. And look, this is everything that's wrong with boxing. You know, you got a lot of promoters, you get a lot of fighters that sit here and they talk all this nonsense about fighters' safety, protecting the fighters, all this nonsense. And then it's not like we can't prove that Oscar Valdez didn't take what he took. It literally, A sample positive, B sample positive, everything positive. And, you know, the promoters, Top Rank Boxing, you know, they just want to save face and save their bottom line and make the show go on. But I'll tell you this, I already know for a fact that if his opponent, the Brazilian who he's fighting, if he gets knocked out and, you know, let's just say, God forbid, if his brain starts bleeding and let's say he passes away, y'all ain't going to be there to take care of him. Y'all not going to pay for his funeral. You guys aren't going to be there to comfort his family. All he'll get is an RIP, some fake love from the boxing fans and the boxing promoters, and life will go on the same way it went on when Patrick Day passed away, the same way it went on when Maxime Dadashev passed away. So I don't want to hear this right here. They have set a new president. They set the president with Canelo 3 years ago when he failed his test and didn't apprehend him. They're setting a new president that they don't give a fuck about you if you don't make money in the sport, because it's proven It's literally proven. The A sample is positive, the B sample is positive. So if this dude Robinson, whatever his name is, the Brazilian, if he gets hurt and he gets like put in a coma or something, I'm not wishing that on him. I'm just putting it out there. I don't want to hear from nobody, because people who are sitting here in my comment section defending Oscar Valdez, defending the Canelo team and all this stuff for him getting away with what he's doing, you guys are full of it. You guys are full of it. You guys don't care about fighters. You guys don't care about boxing. You just care about cheering for fighters of certain ethnic groups and nationalities because you want to have some sort of superiority. You want to feel some sort of like racial or cultural superiority over others. And it's really just, it's so trivial, and it's so it's just so stupid. I don't understand how people can get mad at Drum Miller. Like we live in a world where we know Drum Miller was wrong, okay, and it was proven that he was wrong. It was proven that he took multiple banned substances and he got punished, and he hasn't been able to make a living in this damn sports since. And anytime his name has been brought up since then, people say, "Oh, Drum Miller's a disgrace. He's this and he's that." But when it comes to Oscar Valdez, you know, we don't keep that same energy. We don't keep that same energy. People want to make excuses. They want to say, "Oh, well, it was because he's taking it to lose the weight." Well, look, here's a crazy idea. Here's a crazy idea. If you can't make the weight and you got to go as far as to take these dietary, ridiculous pills, fat burners to suck down to get to the weight, then here's a crazy idea. Take your big, chubby ass up to the next weight class where you can actually make the weight and fight them guys at 35. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Anyone else don't want to do that, because if you go up to 35, you're gonna get punched up by Teofimo Lopez. You're gonna get punched up by Ryan Garcia. You're gonna get punched up by Devin Haney, and all them guys at 35. So I'm just sick of it. I don't want to hear nothing about fighter safety from the promoters. I don't want to hear nothing about fighter safety from fans, and I don't want no fans to ever act like they care for these fighters, because when these fighters get hurt and punished because, you know, such and such has whatever in the system, then, you know, y'all don't care. I'm gonna kind of echo what I heard Greg Hackett say in an interview today on YSN Sports Media. Shout out to Jamil Parker and YSN Sports Media. But Greg Hackett said today in an interview, the trainer for Philadelphia, he said, you know, if one of my fighters fought one of these guys and knocked them out, beat them, put a real bad beating on them, and I found out that they had PEDs in the system, I'm going to their house and I'm putting my hands on them. And like that's where I'm at. I'm in the same way. I've got maybe about 5 friends in boxing, 5 like people I can really call my friends in boxing. And if I ever find out that their opponents are on something, then I'm keeping that same energy, because that's where it's going. Because y'all don't care about these fighters.
First of all, I think going back, I'm back on what BT got to say. There's really a double standard in boxing. Some people can get a free pass. They fucked up. They got caught. And they get a free pass and they're free ride on the yellow bus, and they can follow in the yellow merry-go road, and nothing happens to them. But then you got a fighter that's actually done everything the right way and doing everything. And we're not saying I'm just generalizing on some of the fighters from our point that they could be doing the same thing. Well, I know. But what I'm saying, as far as going do everything the right way, and they get scrutinized so much. But then you got somebody like Oscar Valdez. You got Canelo, the meat man from Mexico.
And we like Oscar Valdez. I like Oscar Valdez.
And I'm a big fan. What I'm saying is, you can't tell me that he didn't know what he was taking before they gave it to him, or prescribed, or whatever the case is, and then he's going to tell you, oh, by the way, it was a mistake. I just had a little bit of fucking a herbal tea, and that's it. And that's bullshit. And I get it. A lot of athletes in every sport's always trying to get away to get an advantage over the next opponent. I get all that. But don't sit here and discredit your own self, your own credibility. More so now, with the Reynoso team, they're gonna be getting looked at all over. You got 2 champions that have been caught.
Three,
Martinez and Canelo and Valdez being caught with this. And you put your own tint on your own self. So reflection is just on you. You brought this on your own self. So we got channels like True School Sports or any other stuff coming on here bringing it out to you guys. And some of you guys get very insensitive because Canelo, the diva, can get away with whatever he wants, and Reynoso and all this, and we're not hating. We're telling you the facts. The facts is go look them up. Company just told you. The drug testing tells you that.
The Conti telling you.
Yeah. So don't hate and don't get your pussy wet or your pussy hurt because of the fact that you don't like to hear what we have to say. The reality is, You brought this on yourself. You know what you were doing before you did it. If you do shit the right way in the gym, you sweat and tears, and you do it the right way, you won't have to worry about the fucking shit.
And that goes back to integrity and doing things the right way. You know, you gotta maintain your integrity in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna ask you, Pops, and then we'll get to some comments.
Mm-hmm.
So you commented, I'll get to you in a second. But what do you think about people who bang the drum? Like, remember when Drum Miller tested positive?
Yeah.
And remember when everybody was talking about fighter safety? Particularly Eddie Hearn was one that was talking a lot, talking about, oh, he put drugs in his system to hurt my friend and all that stuff. What do you think about people in boxing, from fans to promoters to media, that act like they care about fighter safety but are okay with this?
No, you can't say you really do, because if you can give a free pass to what happened to Canelo, and I'm talking about with him, and now with Oscar Valdez and anybody else, then do you really care for the safety of the other fighters?
No, you don't.
You don't. I mean, let's get real. Eddie Hearn, earlier today, I was watching on Boxing Social. They were asking him a lot of questions about the situation with Oscar Valdez, and he came out and said, well, we just let things play out, right? But you didn't hear him shit about Canelo or anybody else. Money's not everything in the sport. The integrity you have in sports within yourself, and a lot of promoters don't give a fuck about that, whether it's Eddie Hearn or anybody else. But you can't sit here and bash one boxer because he got caught doing it, and then you got two other boxers that are champions, and you're giving them a free ride. No, it just doesn't work that way. And that's why the sport is getting the way it is. That's why the sport, the integrity, the credibility, reputation of it is getting to the way it is.
Yeah.
You got Haney calling out Reynoso, calling it, and sometimes when you call out the truth on somebody and you don't like the truth, you always get a defensive. The people get defensive. Anything.
Yeah, they do.
You get aggressive.
They do. And look, me and Pops have been very critical at times of Devin Haney in the past. But Devin Haney, what he said on Twitter today, it's not anything different. It's been on people's minds for a while. Yeah. He's just man enough to say it.
Yeah, and it almost feels like I said, it's a double standard towards the whole situation. If you cheat and you got caught cheat, you need to pay your consequences. Just like Brendan was telling me about Canelo. Canelo with the Mexican meat, he got caught. And what did they do? They raised the threshold.
They changed the rules for him.
And then they gave him a free ride, and that's it. But Big Baby Miller, you give him how much suspended?
Man,
year, whatever.
Big Baby Miller is non-existent. Like if his name even gets linked to any heavyweight, they shoot him out immediately.
He did it 3 times in UFC. We're not saying that he's an angel either.
No.
But what we're saying is you can't sit and give a free ride to Oscar Valdez, a free ride to Canelo and so many other fighters, and have the fights go on when you got other fighters that Benn got caught and they had to pay the punishment.
Facts.
The system sucks. It really does.
It really does.
When it favors you or favors the narrative, but Canelo puts a lot of people in the seats or whatever the case is, oh, it's okay for you to be a cheater. Keep cheating.
I mean, look,
and the same with Oscar, oh, it's okay, you can do it. But if you catch a guy that's honest Louis that did it one time, got caught, you want to burn him into a fryer and say, look at. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of this particular fighter. Yeah. But look at what they did to Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. a number of years ago, he smoked some marijuana, 9-month ban. It's not 9-month ban for marijuana. Yeah. But then you got dudes literally, like, I'm sorry. Them, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. All them fighters in the Eddie Reynoso camp, they're not fighters. They're motherfucking science experiments. And all that shit about you're a science experiment. And right now, you just brought more attention to yourself. Reynoso brought more attention to himself and his team. Even Benavidez Sr. came out and said it right after that. He said, you know what? Now we have more of a chance. Now we see more of what's going on in the camp. Benavidez Sr. That's not. He's hating on Canelo. He didn't say nothing about Canelo. He just said that now because of what happened, they brought more light, more shine to themselves. They brought more negativity to themselves because of the actions they took. And it all goes back to Reynoso because he's a fucking trainer and he's also a fucking manager. So I mean, right? That's two
conflict of interest.
Right. So there's two. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, Canelo, you hating on the time." No, we're saying we're calling it where we see it, and that's it.
Yeah, and if you don't like it,
Benavidez, another American Mexican, calling it out. Benavidez Sr. We're not talking about Benavidez the son that got angry about it. He's just calling out the way you see another Mexican to another Mexican. What do you guys feel about that? Because it's not us saying it; it's somebody else.
Because everybody says you guys are saying it.
So don't sit here. And personally, I don't give 2 fucks if you go ahead and unsubscribe. You can kiss my fucking ass if you do. But what I'm getting at is, don't sit here when you get your feelings hurt and cry. Because we're telling you the way it is, and the facts are out there. The facts are out there. The fact is, the Oscar got 2 samples. He didn't do the right thing. He was cheating, and then you go into the facts from Canelo. He's a fucking cheater, whether you want to see it or not. And we know through boxing there's other fighters, but we're talking about this instance right here. That the double stands that boxing has to certain fighters and give them a free ride. I don't think it's right.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna say it like this. I mean, there's not a lot of people here right now, and that's okay. And if you watch this video later on in the playback, I'm gonna tell you this, man. If you don't like what me and Pops got to say about boxing and telling the truth, then go take your bitch ass to another channel. Respectfully, disrespectfully.
The bottom line,
disrespectfully.
Don't get your feelings hurt and think that we're hating on Canelo.
All right, I want to get some comments. Because there are quite a few comments. So I want to say shout out to my man Hyro. I'm not gonna click on the screen, but Hyro says, Pops, freaking no more cursing. Monster time. Pops, I want to know where I can find T to lose weight.
Where you can find T to lose weight? What's for Harold?
Yeah, Hyro.
Find some beautiful black woman that's got a green bathing suit on, light green, lime green, drink lots of green tea, and go with her and work out with her, and you'll be all right.
There you have it, man. For those of you who don't know, Pops is saying that because Hyro's in love with black girls.
Brown sugar. He loves the brown sugar.
Like the brown sugar. I can't knock him. You know, I like black girls too. But yeah, man. Hyro got a lot of comments. Hyro also says, I don't blame them, man. Where can I get pills to grow a beard? Because I was telling Ryan, yeah. Beard. Just get some synthetic testosterone and inject it into yourself, and boom. Boom! You'll start growing muscles in places that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, I mean, you got the internet. They'll tell you all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it is what it is. Milo Grogan says Eddie Reynoso is becoming the next Panama Lewis.
Listen, karma is an MF. We all know that already. You reap what you sow. You've been getting away with a lot of stuff. Getting away with this for so long. And I'm going to agree with what Haney said. What was I saying he said earlier? You know, the training. He said no juice, no trainer of the year. And what's funny is we actually had Eddie Reynoso. Remember when we were talking between ourselves as one of the top managers this year? We were talking about. But with this coming out now, it's all not by question marks now.
Straight question marks, man. It's a lot of question marks. And yeah, I want to applaud Devin Haney because I'll tell you this from just being around people in the boxing game. To say anything negative about Canelo being involved in boxing is like, oh my God, you can't do no wrong. You literally can't do that because he can do no wrong at this point. So for Devin Haney to come out and say it's been. Let's be real, it's been on most people's minds since the Valdez Burchell knockout. When people kind of raise their eyebrows like, yo, Valdez is a good fighter, he can punch, but he wasn't punching like that 2 fights ago. So it was on everybody's mind, you know. Shout out to my guy, what's his name, Jonathan Wilburden. He says, don't bet on it. Bud never gets a good fight. Yeah. But with the way Bud's career's gone, he'll probably wind up fighting Michael McKinson next. Or Castillo Clay or something like that. Castillo Clay, which I think would be a good fight, but it wouldn't be the kind of fight that he needs at this point in his career. You know, he needs those big money box office
money fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got to make it. But at the same time, I'm going to say what we tried to do with Crawford also. You've also said that he needs to be active too, even though I don't know who he's got to fight. Yeah, the problem is that he's with Top Rank, and they have a lot of welterweights, and then the welterweight he couldn't fight with PBC, and then you don't even know if Al Haymon will put him on the shelf if he goes signs there. So it's a lot of moving parts, but either way, you should still be trying to. Top Rank is dropping the ball by not keeping him active. Yeah, you know. We could say the same thing about Eddie Hearns without Bubba Andre not getting a big fight to Bivol. And we can go on and on and on and on. I just get angry, but a lot of it is the promoters. Sometimes you better off just being a free agent.
Yeah, I wanna address this comment right here from my main man, Slotello. All right, he says, certified lover boy out tonight at midnight. Drake, that new Drake album dropping at midnight. I'm gonna check that out. You know, I like Drake. He be having some jams. You know, I saw his post on Instagram today, and I saw that my wife liked it. So I'm gonna check it out. So when I call her up soon, we'll have something to talk about. But anyway, Hyro says, Pops, give me the rawest motivation speech. I want to pass the written driver's test. I believe I'll never pass it. Shit, BT told me something, and I got worried. What did I tell you?
Man, you go for the driving test.
The written test, yeah.
The written test, you just go study the book, do what the book says, study it, take your time, don't rush anything. And if it makes sense the first time, that's the right answer.
There you go. JJ Romano, shout out to him. He said you can get anything you're looking for in Tijuana. He said you can get anything you're looking for. He said you can get anything as far as like banned substances in Tijuana.
Wow. Well, the bottom line is there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, and we know a lot of athletes do it. So we're not trying to bring a bad image to any of the athletes. Every athlete's trying to get an advantage for it. But we're talking about boxing. I'll be honest with you. I never in my wildest dream would think that Oscar Valdez would be one of the fighters.
Why not?
Because he just didn't give me that sense.
Nah, for me, that would have been the case before he was with Canelo's camp. But the minute he joined Canelo's camp, there was always that possibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Prior to that, I didn't expect that. Even this is not a shocker now because we already know the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Johnny Berber. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel and go check out his content because he's giving you men out there a lot of good advice on how to tighten up your mental game. You know, he says BT, can Josh Warrington beat Mauricio Lara in the rematch? And I'm gonna answer. I think he can beat him. I don't have an official prediction yet. I haven't really thought too much in that fight because I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, John, this is only my opinion. The real main event on that card is Conor Benn versus Adrian Granados. That's the fight I'm looking forward to. So I haven't really given the Lara Warrington rematch as much thought as I probably should have. But I would say that with Warrington fighting in Leeds, you know, he's always proven himself to be a different fighter when he's fighting in front of the home crowd. So of course he got a chance.
I'm taking Lara though.
You going Lara?
I'm a big fan of Warrington, but I'm taking Lara.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. As long as Adrian Granados can beat Conor Benn, I don't give a damn what happens in that card.
Chicago rise up.
Chicago stand up. Sotella says, did you see AJ's new Instagram and Twitter pics? He looks really slim now. I have seen them. He does. He looks like he's in great shape. I was actually watching one of the videos of him walking through the Tottenham Stadium. And he looks like he's not too muscle bound. So I'm excited to see what Anthony Joshua is bringing to the table, man. You know, I love what I saw in that last Pulev fight. You know, I think he's developing in a very great way, and you know, I want to continue to see him develop because Anthony Joshua, when you talk about boxing, when you talk about the real faces of boxing, you know, he's one of the top guys out there. You know, one of the guys that's carrying the sport on his shoulders.
That being said, I think he has to be. Joshua can't have that muscle mass fighting music because he's using a lot of movement too. So he needs to get that muscle mass off him, keep himself in the shape that he's looking good. He looks like he's ready.
Yeah.
How about Wilder with the weight shit? He looked like shit doing that.
What, did Deontay Wilder with the weights?
Man,
he was like, he's like, we got 375. We're going to go up another one.
People were trying to help him and stuff. I said, look at this shit. Look at this clown.
Oh, Wilder?
Yeah. I mean, not to change the subject. I'm just saying, like, you better focus more than that.
Yeah. I mean, personally, look, Deontay Wilder, his weakness isn't his damn strength. It's never been an issue for him. So I don't know why he's lifting. In my opinion, like, look, and this will be another video as well. Deontay Wilder might be making the same mistake twice because his mistake in the rematch was that he wanted to try to bulk up in weight to try to match Fury's weight gain, and it took away what made Wilder so dangerous, which was his speed and his ability to close the gap. Once he lost that, he lost the fight, and I feel like he might be in danger of that here, but. You know,
I want to wish him the best anyways.
Wish him the best.
He made a lot of changes and stuff.
You know, it looks like he's trying, and Malik Scott's got a hold of his ear. We'll see what happens when Fury touches him with the first straight right hand if he holds that game plan. I mean, I'm not rooting against Wilder to fail. Right. I want Wilder to be the best Wilder possible, and I want Fury to be the best Fury possible because I want to see a great fight. Yeah. Certified Bucket, if you could, would you strip Valdez? You're damn right I would. I would strip Valdez for sure. Because boxing, look, the same way boxing made an example out of Jarrell Miller, they need to make an example out of Oscar Valdez. I don't think boxing should be picking and choosing when they want to make an example out of somebody. Now, they might not want to make an example out of Oscar Valdez because it might hurt their pockets financially because when we look at the guys at 130, he's the guy with probably the most
money talks
earning potential because he's Mexican.
Money talks, bullshit walks.
You know, so
that's sad but true.
That's just what it is. You know, they didn't mind making an example out of Joe Miller because he's not a money-making machine for the heavyweight division. As to where Oscar Valdez is a guy that, you know, he's Mexican, he punches hard, he's a good fighter, He's aligned with Canelo, so that's also a plus as well. You know, he has good things going well for him that are gonna make him more visible, make him money, and they're not gonna do that because it's gonna hurt their pockets.
People did say that a lot of fighters, a lot of people, they use whatever he took or whatever it was, because it actually, like you said, takes a lot of liquids out of your body or whatever, the water out of you. So we're not discrediting that what he did, but if you knew, all I'm saying is if you knew it was a substance that you weren't supposed to take, and you not only knew you're taking it to do something to yourself, you just incriminated yourself in the court of law and got yourself caught. That's it.
That's it, man. That's it. By the way, for those of you asking, just a program reminder, I will be live for the entire Josh Warrington versus Mauricio Lara card. It's gonna be a great card, you know. But when I schedule the live, it's not gonna be titled Mauricio Lara versus Warrington live. No, it's gonna be titled Conor Benn versus Adrian Granados live fight reaction, because that's the fight that I'm really excited about. So if you're gonna be around, don't make no plans. We'll be here Saturday.
Definitely,
it should
be
be
hyped up.
A great day of boxing.
Granados, bring it on.
That damn herbal tea, yeah, man. I think you might even drink the herbal tea.
Yeah, I drink all kind of tea in there. Maybe I have one in the same thing. I get what they're saying. I get it. I just think that if you did wrong and then both samples came out wrong, then that's twice the proof that you knew. You can't tell me you didn't know. You can't tell me you didn't know what you had in your coffee. You can't tell me what you had in your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just can't.
You know, let's do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll. I want to see what you guys think. Now, if Demetrius Andrade or Edgar Berlanga, we'll say like Demetrius Andrade. If Demetrius Andrade was in the same situation, what do you guys believe the reaction would be? I'll love to know what you guys think the reaction would be. Let me know. Oh,
yeah.
let me know in the comments.
Yeah, it'd be crazy the way you look at it. It'd just be crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, let me know what you guys think. You know, if Demetrius Andrade's A sample and B sample for fentanyl came out, what do you guys think the verdict would be, and how do you think that they would how the boxing world would react to Demetrius Andrade? Because he already gets criticized for not fighting anybody. So imagine if he actually took some PEDs.
Let's be serious. If you were going into a fight and you just found out your opponent got caught cheating quality, how would you feel fighting that fighter? You know what I'm saying? If you were going in, Brandon, if you were going into the fight and you want to beat the guy's ass, you did everything right, and then your opponent just suspiciously got caught with all this kind of whatever it's called, he got busted for. That was something that were not. You were cheating. How would you feel fighting that guy?
How would I feel?
Like, not how you feel. What would be your reaction to fighting a guy?
My reaction
would be upper hand on you, taking whatever he's not supposed to take in his body. Only he knows what the rules are for the game. Still cheating.
My reaction would be I'm not gonna fight him in a box match. I'll fight him on the street. We'll fight on the street. He's not getting paid fighting me. Right. We can fight. We're not fighting in a ring. Right. I'll go find him and we'll start duking it out.
That's how I look at it. The people that I see suffer from this is the people that do the things the right way.
Yeah.
The boxers do it the right way.
Yeah, I want to get to this comment right here. I want to get to comments. Shout out to my main man, Freddie, Box Talk 101. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my man, Freddie, and Box Talk 101. I don't really like too many people in boxing, but I like Freddie because he keeps it real, and he's a really nice person. And I got nothing but good things to say about him. He says, just checking in, BT. I hope you and Pops are all good. We're exceptional, champ.
Thank you so much, man. God bless.
Shout out to Freddie.
Hit that like button, please. Love you.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, and certified. Yeah, they would have crucified Demetrius Andrade. They would have said, why? That's why nobody's fighting him. Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's exactly what they would say. What do you think, Pops? If Demetrius Andrade tests positive for amphetamines, they would say that nobody's fighting him because he's dirty. Yeah, that's why nobody's fighting him.
He's no good. But meanwhile, you got this guy that's from Mexico that you said fucking cow meat for no how long, and he had a big friggin' thing. Not just literally, he had a big rib of fucking cow meat, and it's okay because he can't do no wrong. But you got a guy that's doing it the right way and got caught. Yeah, it's double standard. I'm gonna say it's a double standard, and I don't think it's right. I mean, I still like Oscar Valdez.
That's the thing. I don't want to be sitting here
cynical and just saying
slagging off and talking shit about Oscar Valdez. No. Oscar Valdez is the last guy I want in that entire camp. The last guy that I want to talk shit about is Oscar Valdez. Yeah, I like Oscar Valdez. I've enjoyed his career. I've enjoyed his fight with Scott Quigg and Mariaga and Evgeny Gradovich, and I like Valdez. Yeah. But we gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah. So for them, for even says that the fight continue on, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. And I think this antidote, supposed to be Vada, whatever you were telling me about, all this bullshit too. They need to get somebody better free with this shit, man. Seriously. Some fighters get away with it. Some fighters don't. Some fighters, I mean, it's money. If there's a lot of money involved, people are always going to cover up.
Well, it's like boxing, in my opinion, boxing when it comes to drug testing, it's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I criticize the NBA a lot when I talk to my friends about basketball because there's like players in the NBA that I can't stand because I think they're overrated and I think some of them I think they're definitely not PEDs. Most of them are on PEDs. But like I've said for years, like LeBron James is clearly on PEDs. And if you don't think LeBron's on PEDs, you might need these. You might need to get like 2 or 3 of these, right? And the NBA is like the only sport that's never ever like caught a superstar. All the guys that have tested positive have all been like role players, upcoming players, but nobody who was like a $100 million, $300 million like player. You know, that hasn't been caught. And I feel like boxing in the same way. It's kind of it's damn near the same way.
It's a free pass.
It's the same way. Yeah. If you selling them tickets, if you put in 70,000 in them seats, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's what they're gonna do.
So, even with the fight going on, like I said, all this is just brought more reflection on Canelo team. Seriously, that's for me not saying that. That's for Reynoso, the manager, and them. They knew what they were doing. I don't care what you tell me.
Yeah,
he didn't just go to a freaking coffee shop and say, give me some green tea.
They put it. Yeah, he went to Starbucks and they put it in his vanilla bean frappuccino.
You knew what you were taking as you train, what you take in your body. For whatever the case may be. Man,
y'all, honestly, Oscar Valdez and the Canelo fans should just thank the lucky stars that September 10th here in South Florida, we have a card to go to in Delray Beach, and we're gonna go watch Lawrence Newman, who's a very good prospect fight. So I'm not gonna be live. Like I'm not gonna be live for that fight. Because if I was live for that fight, I would literally go on the biggest verbal onslaught you guys have ever seen. Apart from if Canelo loses the plan, because that's gonna be another level. But yeah, man. You know, Certified Buckets over here quoting Eddie Reynoso saying, "No haters, no life." Fucking cornball. What a cornball. Robert Sanchez says, do you see Caleb Plant going off on Facebook? No, I don't. I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out later and see what he says.
Oh,
yeah. Hyro says, Pops, my dream is to get my license and drive a big truck because I don't want to be driven by no damn women, unlike Wilder in this costume. Yeah, man. Hey, hopefully you can make that dream come true.
It's gonna come true because you want it. When you want something bad enough, you're gonna go get it.
Yeah. So look, that's pretty much my statement on the whole Oscar Valdez PED situation. I'm gonna take my man Jesus M's advice because I feel like it's good advice. You know, no more PED talk. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the sport goes on, boxing goes on. And we have to focus on what's truly important, which is the fights. But it's hard to focus on the fight sometimes when you got bullshit like this. You know, it kind of takes away, from the sport itself. You know, so.
And what do you think? The Japanese fighter gonna go from here after he won the fight the other night? You were watching.
Yeah, let's talk about Kazuto. Let's talk about Kazuto Ioka. Let's talk about we focus on the negative.
Yeah.
Now let's focus on the positive.
What do you think about?
All right, Kazuto Ioka. I think when we talk about
the
most consistent fighters in boxing and guys that deserve to be on the pound list, guys that are actually really going out there and doing things, guys that are really escribiendo la historia. We gotta talk about Kazuto Ioka because you look at it like in the last 5 to 6 fights, he's beaten McWilliams, Arroyo.
Wow.
He fought Donny Nietes and lost close fights to Donny Nietes. Nietes is a fantastic fighter. Beat Javier Cintrón. He knocked out and embarrassed. Jairo always lets you know about this. He knocked out and embarrassed my man, what's his name, Kosai Tanaka, and started making him do backflips and cartwheels. Right. And that was a big win for him because when he beat Kosai Tanaka was like on a high. Like he was on the fast track to becoming the next great Japanese fighter. Fastest Japanese fighter to win a world title. Tyler Machenko's record for the least amount of fights winning a world title on 3 classes.
So you will put this Japanese fighter in the elite of Japanese fighters right now.
He's only guy that's above him is Inoue.
That's it.
That's it. And if Ioka beats like a Jerwin Kaz and then like Cholatito or Estrada, you know, there's gonna be some serious debate as to who is the best fighter in Japan. But those are big ifs. You still gotta do that. But I mean, great performance from him. He beat Francisco Rodriguez Jr., a fighter that, you know, been unified champion at 105, been someone that has been consistently near the top of these weight classes, a top 10 fighter, you know, champion at times.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do what people thought he was going to do, because a lot of people thought he was going to run through Rodriguez Jr.
And it wasn't that way.
The only guy that's knocked him out, he's got 5 losses, but the only guy that's knocked him out was Cholatito. And that was years ago.
Woo.
So, yeah, man, Ioka, honestly, Ioka's got better resume. He's got better wins and better resumes than most of these guys that people have in the top 10 pound. Like if you said BT, who deserves to be in the pound list more?
Mm-hmm.
Kazuto Ioka or Earl Spence? It's not even debatable.
Wow.
Kosai Tanaka. The Kosai Tanaka win is hands down, better than anything Earl Spence has done in the last 2 or 3 years. No doubt about it.
Wow.
You know,
that's saying a lot, man.
It is. Only people that will refute that just didn't. They don't follow the small weight classes. They don't know about what Tanaka was doing. Listen, he beat up Tanaka so bad that fight. Tanaka has not boxed since that fight. That fight took place on December 31st, 2020. He ain't boxed since that day.
So you say he retired?
He was. There was a big hype train here on YouTube. I was part of it. You know, I like Tanaka, and I got hopes for him when he comes back. I think he's still a great fighter, and he can become that 4 division champion.
Right.
But Ioka he popped that balloon real quick.
Wow.
He popped that balloon real quick, and he hasn't stopped.
So what do you see for him next? Like, what will you see?
I think the most realistic fight for Kazuto Ioka is going to be that Jerwin and Kaz unification, because Cholatito's going to fight Estrada in the trilogy fight. Rambasai's going to fight Quadradas probably for the WBC belt.
Yeah.
And they'll do a unification because Ioka is the WBO champion and Kaz is the IBF champion. So I'm looking at them doing a unification. And if God willing, if the stars align, whoever wins that fight, then I want them to fight the winner of whoever comes out of that whole situation on the other side.
A very interesting thing then.
Yeah, man. I was telling Hyro, like Hyro said right here. BT was telling me to watch Kosai Tanaka, and the first fight I watched, he gets flatlined. That's true. I was like, yeah, man. You gotta do all that. You gotta watch this guy. He's great. He's gonna be this and he's that, and
you get knocked out.
He starts doing cartwheels.
Hell no.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Charlie, Child of the King. He says Pops looks good. How is his heart and Lou?
Still there. Still got I got carries with me still, so I still got the lifesaver on, but thank God I'm still here.
Yeah, so BT, have you watched David Morrell Jr.? I actually just I was funny you mentioned that. I was just watching him the other night, David Morrell Jr. You know, hell of a fighter, an aggressive Cuban style. You know, I watched a couple of his fights. I gotta watch some more. But I got a video coming out on him soon. I like what I'm seeing, and he's a guy. You know, let's just say, you know, I'm not gonna talk too much more about the guy, but you know, that guy at 68 that everybody thinks is the pound king of boxing. If he's able to somehow get through Caleb Plant and Benavidez, I have serious doubts that he'll want to go near that guy.
What do you think about Tarver Jr.? He's gonna make some beat.
Antonio Tarver Jr.?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him fight.
Oh, you haven't seen him yet? I just want recently. Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be a hype job or he's gonna be as good as his dad.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Enrique Luna says BT and Pops Granados versus Benn is Saturday, September the 4th this weekend. No cinnamon talk. Listen, we know that. You know, we're definitely supporting Adrian Granados. You know,
all day.
Let's take some time, Pops. Let's talk about Granados versus Benn. Now, without being biased, it's very easy for me to be biased by Adrian Granados. I mean, he's a friend of mine. I love the guy. But removing that for a second, what do you think about the fight with Conor Benn?
I think it's for Conor Benn. In my opinion, it's going to be the biggest test for Conor Benn. I'm a big firm believer. You know what I'm going to say? The experienced fighters that Granados bringing into this fight, experience he's got from fighting the prior fights that he's fought, is big on him, and I think that's going to be a big play for him to try to beat Benn. But that being said, what Granados got to do, he can't get hit use like a punching bag. Yeah. He's got to get on that defense. He's got to block, do his thing, because Conor Benn, like he was saying, I was watching his press conference today. He's like, I know you're coming here, you're talented, you fight all these other guys and everything, but I'm coming to knock you the fuck out. So he says, I'm not hating on you, I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on doing it, and believe me, I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for the Granados, just as much as not going to be for Benn. But I'm going to take, my heart says go with Granados based on my experience and who he's fought. But if Granados does not win this fight, if Granados leaves this fight and in the hands of the judges,
he's not getting it.
It's done.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It's done.
Look, I think the key for Granados,
and I like Benn. We made him on an interview. Great guy. So I wish him nothing but the best too. But I just think if Granados really wants to back, because I think for me personally, if Granados doesn't do nothing in this fight, I think
they're not giving him this one. No way.
No, I'm just saying it's his last hurrah. What I'm saying is he's probably a few more fights, but I think this is the biggest chance right now for him to do something.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think the key for Granados in this fight is to land that straight right hand. I think his best punch is a straight right hand. Mm-hmm. And you know, when he fought Porter, it was a punch that worked for him. When he fought Broner, it was a punch that worked for him. When he fought Amir Mom, it was definitely a punch that worked for him. And I feel like, you know, as good as Conor Benn is, and as explosive as Conor Benn is, I mean, there's still times where his defense gets leaky, and there's going to be chances for Adrian Granados to win, to land that straight right hand. So I feel like the important thing for him to win this fight is how he manages the first 3 to 4 rounds. If he gets out of those first 3 to 4 rounds without getting clipped or dropped or hurt or anything like that, and he can get this fight to the back half of the fight, I'm talking he needs to get Conor Benn to the 9th round, 10th round.
And it's a 12-rounder, right?
It's a 12-round fight, okay. So it's not like other times in the past where he's been screwed and they made it 10 rounds. Mm-hmm. It's 12 rounds, so he gets all the rounds to show his best attribute, which I think is his conditioning. He's a very well-conditioned fighter. He doesn't get tired, so I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, I'll be honest, because he's been screwed so many times, and I've gone through this movie so many times. There's a bit of pessimism in me going into this fight. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, that's what.
But I think because Benn is inexperienced and people are kind of riding off Granados, and you know, I think Benn is there to be hit. Like Benn, we're not gonna confuse Benn with Pernell Whitaker or Marlon Starlin. Mm-hmm. He's there to be hit. So, you know, may the best man win. I think Granados has a chance to win. You know what? Hey, I'm putting Conor Benn on upset alert. F it. I think this is it. Adrian Granados is gonna finally beat him. Finally get that big win he's looking for the last couple of years.
Katie Taylor, who I really love. I can't wait till she fights Amanda Serrano.
No, we can't even talk about Amanda Serrano right now. She better worry about getting through Jennifer Hahn.
Yeah.
She don't get through. Jennifer Hahn might fuck all these plans up.
Are you serious?
Jennifer Hahn is no joke. Jennifer Hahn might come in there. Jennifer Hahn might come in there and just give her the Kazuto Ioka Kosa Tanaka treatment. Just pop that balloon.
Wow.
Jennifer Hahn can fight.
I don't know much about her.
Jennifer Hahn is good. I like Jennifer Hahn. Shout out to my boy King Hassan. Salute BT and Pops. Today's boxers are businessmen. I just saw the movie Cinderella Man, and wow, old school boxing is authentic, real, not scripted. The last old school boxer today is Gabriel Rosado, and in my opinion, also Granados.
Wow. Good point.
Yeah, first of all, hey, that's a great shout.
Yeah.
You know, that's my favorite.
Wow.
That's my favorite boxing movie. You want to know about boxing? You want to know about what boxing is really about? You know why I love this sport? Go watch Cinderella Man. You know the story of the former lineal heavyweight champion James J. Braddock and the Great Depression and everything he went through and his big fight with Maxwell Bear. You know,
wow,
great stuff. Great stuff back in the 1920s. You know, then eventually Joe Louis knocked his ass out. But as far as Rosado and Granados being the only old school fighters, I agree with you that they're both old school fighters. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that they're the only ones. You know, I think guys like Chocolatito, Gaio Estrada, especially Gaio Estrada. I can't say nothing but good things about Gaio Estrada, even though I thought he lost last fight. But great fighter, you know, Gaio Estrada, Chocolatito,
I think
Josh Taylor.
I think we might be comparing Rosado and
Granados
because they both have had some good fights and have fought some top level fighters.
Because they have a lot of losses and stuff.
Yeah, as far as the resume. So that's what I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he's related to.
Okay.
As far as that, so kudos to him.
Okay, well, all right. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. I think for me right now, I got Josh Taylor. Like I got Andrade versus Jason Quigley. Is that? Hold on, Milo. Is that official? Is that happening? Do we actually have some Demetrius Andrade fight news? Hold on, man.
I haven't seen.
Don't play with me right now. Is that happening? Why are you putting that in the comments?
Yeah, check that out.
It look like you're putting that there for some reason.
What do you think about Boots Anderson DeLong from Puerto Rico?
Fucking horrible fight.
For Puerto Rico.
It's just like Delorme, like I respect Delorme because
decent. He's not as good as
he's stepping up to the plate. Like he was really good at 140. You know, he was a guy that, you know, had some promise and people had high hopes for when he was at 140. And no, right now, it's just saying that they're negotiating right now. They're negotiating.
Yeah, so not.
But you know, Delorme had some hope. Like he had some hope at 140, and then Crawford went and popped that bubble real quickly and beat the hell out of him in his first title fight.
So you're saying it's just a tuna fight?
What I can say about Delorme, on a positive note, is he win, lose, or draw. I've never known him as a guy to quit. I've never known him as a guy to lose fights because he didn't have the heart. He goes out there and he gives it with his 100% every single time. So I'm not sure what the hell that's going to mean for Boots. If Boots gets hit in this fight, the one that I like about that fight
got more power.
Huh?
In that fight, who got more power? Delorme in this fight.
And it's I would say right now. But Delorme can crack. So I feel like if Delorme can, and this is a big if, but if he can land on Boots Ennis, I might finally get my answer to what that chin looking like. Because that's the only thing. If once I get that answer, I'm gonna let you know who I think is my Virgil Ortiz versus Ennis.
I'm taking Ortiz.
If that chin, I'm telling you right now, if that Jerron Ennis chin,
taking Ortiz. I don't care what you tell me.
If that Jerron Boots Ennis chin holds up, Virgil Ortiz might have to pack up his bags. He's not gonna beat Jerron Ennis.
Virgil Ortiz don't got a weak chin.
He's not gonna beat Jerron.
You can't tell me he ain't
gonna outskill Jerron Ennis.
He's not him down to a pole.
Not gonna outskill Jerron Ennis.
I'm telling you right now, I got Virgil Ortiz. After that long, I'm gonna stick my guns with him.
Well, I've been going back and forth. My initial pick was Jerron Ennis. So
but you're saying now you're gonna base it on this fight and see what happens.
Once I see.
If means what? What's the 50?
I just gotta see how durable that chin is. If I see how durable that chin is, then I'll have my answer.
You're saying and nobody's tested him yet and hit him.
He don't get hit. He don't get hit. He's had 27.
He never had a top fight.
He's got 27 fights. He never gets it.
Wow.
He has had 27 fights.
What makes you think he's gonna fight? I'm gonna say average, a decent fighter, and they're gonna get the chance to hit him.
Because Delorme's not a bad fighter. I just don't like it because that's not a fight that's on my radar. Like I don't care for the fight because it's like it does nothing. Like if he wins, it does nothing for him. Because Delorme is not. I mean, Delorme is a guy that not too long ago, a couple years ago, he had a draw at Jesse Vargas.
Right.
So he's good enough to get a draw at Jesse Vargas, but I'm not really too gassed about the fight. But I respect Delorme because, like I said, he's a fighter that always comes to fight. He leaves his heart in the ring every single time, and he's done what most fighters refuse to do. He stepped up to the plate and he's fighting Jerron Ennis.
What do you think about Arroyo and White fighting? They fight.
Is that for real?
I think I heard it. I read it.
I know that he had to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Chris Arreola versus Dillian White. I'm gonna tell you this.
The old man's fight.
No, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this.
But Arreola looked good though last time.
I'm gonna tell you this.
I'm gonna tell you that.
If Chris Arreola can come to the boxing ring with the same amount of dedication, come in the same shape he came in against Ruiz.
You think he can beat White?
It's heavyweight boxing.
Anything can happen?
Anything can happen. If he comes into you saw what he did. He put Ruiz on his ass.
Yeah.
You know, and Dillian White's he's chinnier than Andy Ruiz.
Wow.
So you just never know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man T20. What's up, champ? How you living? Going back to Johnny Berba. Johnny wants to know, do you think Pacquiao's going to rematch Yordenis Ugas?
I think he will. I think he can't live with himself. I mean, I think he disrespected Ugas.
I'll be honest with you. I love Pacquiao, but if he fights Ugas again, I hope Ugas stops him. Only because, bro, like you got outboxed clearly. You're a great fighter, but you got outboxed. And then you go in there and say, "Oh, my easiest opponent," and you lost.
Yeah,
it's not a good. It's not a good look. So, you know.
But I mean,
I don't care for it too much. But to answer your question, Johnny, you say yes. You say yes.
What's that?
Is he gonna rematch Ugas?
He'll rematch with him, but he's not gonna beat him.
I think he's gonna retire.
You think so?
Well,
no.
I'm thinking
he's got two more fights. He wants to fight Crawford. He wants to fight Spence.
He better not fight Crawford.
He wants to fight.
He better stay the hell away from Crawford.
Crawford, Spence, or
he better run.
What do we call it?
BT Hyro says, BT, how does it feel to live the legacy of Pops like Nico Ali? That's his brand, and it's not his fault. He's just embracing it. He's talking about how Nico Ali Walsh is just like Nico. Everywhere he goes, like there was a video where he met Lomachenko, and he didn't even say a thing. He was like, "I'm Muhammad Ali's grandson."
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, and that's all everybody. Like nobody like when you hear these interviews about Nico Ali Walsh, like, excuse my French, but nobody gives a like nobody's asking the questions so they actually give a fuck about Nico Ali Walsh. They just asking questions about Muhammad Ali. Which look, I'm not mad at that because it's intriguing. It makes him intriguing. It makes him unique. But come on, man, like he's milking the hell out of it.
Yeah. I still think he's too green behind the ears.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I mean he's with Sugar Hill though, so Sugar Hill can get him right.
Yeah, I like Sugar Hill.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Enrique. He says Shakur Marriott, the Taylor Serrano fight will not happen unless Serrano drug test. That's how the fight fell through already. That's right. Yeah.
What happened?
When Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor were doing the negotiations, and they were doing the negotiations, the reason it didn't happen was because of the fact that Katie Taylor insisted on Nevada drug testing, and Amanda Serrano's team, Mr. Jordan Maldonado, who's made a lot of headlines this week, he said no. That's crazy. So it's not happening. By the way,
I mean, rest in peace to Zapata, the Mexican fighter just passed away. Her last name was Zapata. She just had a fight. And
the girl.
Yeah, the girl. She just passed away.
R.I.P. God bless her. That's her soul. Absolutely.
You can't play with boxing.
Boxing is a serious sport, and a lot of people lose their lives over this stuff. So it's very
serious. My praise goes to her and her family.
It's very important. I'm gonna get your comment, Johnny, but I'm gonna get to King Hassan first. He says Rosado and Granados are both from poverty. They learned on the job and had jobs to provide for their families. They don't care about Instagram and looking good. They just want to fight. They're more fighters, though.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Gabe Rosado had a job at Home Depot. Adrian Granados worked at T-Mobile and had jobs as a busboy.
So they did it the hard way.
They definitely learned on the job. And look, most fighters that were put in their circumstances, I'm gonna say like 95% of fighters that were put in the Rosado or Granados circumstances would not have as successful of a career as those guys have had in the professional ranks of boxing.
Wilder had to go through that too. Did he work at the store or something?
Wilder went through it only in the sense that he had to learn on the job, but he was matched extremely, extremely carefully, fighting super middleweights.
No. As far as the resume, by far Rosado and Granados are top of the release compared to what Wilder's done.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as they don't care about Instagram. I'm gonna disagree with you there about Rosado. I think Rosado does care about Instagram. You seen some of these pictures he be taking? Like, now Granados don't care about Instagram because Granados hasn't even went out of his way to get verified on Instagram, and I'm sure he can get it easily.
Yeah, but he's probably just saying Rosado and him are like, they're not constantly involved in the they'll comment and do this and that, but they're not like a Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
Put it that way. They're not too like that. They're more into the blue collar. We'll do it our own way. And that's it.
Absolutely. Here we go. Getting back to Johnny's question. So he wants to know Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez rematch. He wants to know from you, who do you think will win that rematch?
I'm still gonna go with Teofimo. He's a bigger fighter. He's gonna come in big. And he's gonna give problems to Lomachenko. Although for Lomachenko's side, I love the way he came to the last fight. He showed he's still hungry. He showed that he wants to be pound for pound. So don't sleep on him.
Yeah, there you have it. I mean, Mondo Solo S says Wilder had to learn on the job, but he did a half-ass job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see Mondoloso's also over here responding to YouTube comments simultaneously while he's watching me. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. BT thoughts on Clarissa Shields signing a deal with Sky Sports and Savannah Marshall is exclusively with Sky. I think it's great. I think it'd be great for that fight to happen because truthfully, look.
Then we have the discussion.
I was just telling you about this like 2 days ago. Clarissa Shields has pretty much beaten and defeated anybody of any relevance around her weight. The only name she got, listen, for me to really truthfully call her the GOAT, if she wants that title, and not just to have it because she self-proclaimed it, right. If she really wants to have that title, this is going to be the fight where she can prove it because Savannah Marshall already beat her in the amateurs.
Right.
Savannah Marshall punched harder than her. Savannah Marshall is longer than her. That's a great fight, and I'm hoping that can come off within the next 6 months or so. That'd be a big fight for not just women's boxing, but boxing at large. I think you got a gold medalist from America. I don't know if Savannah Marshall won a gold medal, but I know she was great in the amateurs. I honestly, if that fight comes off, I think Savannah Marshall gonna beat Clarissa Shields.
Big time.
Yeah. But I wish Close the best. Let's see. Loma wins the rematch in my opinion. Hey, a lot of people have their opinions.
Yeah, I mean, Lomo. Like I said, don't discredit Lomo because he came out there and he put an ass.
Loma's a great fighter. Listen, Loma's a great.
Never gonna take that away
Loma's
from
a great fighter, but
I just think TLP will beat his ass.
He's gonna punish him in the rematch.
Yeah, punish him and move up to
on 40. I wish he was moved up on 40.
He's too big.
He's too damn big for this weight class. You know, he might just start taking them Oscar Valdez pills if he stays in this weight class any longer to make the damn weight. You know? Shout out to Mondo Solo. He says I fucks with BT. We don't always agree, but I respect that you accept criticism, unlike certain channels that want sheep and block you. Yeah, man, listen. This is a real boxing channel. You know, you can that's why I always say that.
Yeah.
I've been saying it in my videos for I don't know how many years now, but I always say at the end of my videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. Okay? So whether you love me or hate me, I'm still gonna be me regardless. People here on YouTube, you know the channels, you know the people that have the cult-like followings. They want to feed their ego. For me, I just want to talk boxing, and that doesn't mean you gotta agree with me. That doesn't mean you gotta see things the way I see it. But we're just here to talk boxing, have a great time doing it, and we did it all 2015, we did it all 2016, we did it all 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and we've been doing it all 2021, and long will that continue. Long will the legacy of the untouchable True School Sports continue.
Facts.
Shout out to everybody here. Hyro says this will be Philip Hrgovic's last fight on the zone now that Sunderland is with Sky Sports. Well, that could bode well for Hrgovic. We just want Hrgovic to get some damn fights. Yeah, these guys don't want no smoke. I put that video out earlier today, or today or yesterday. I put that video out earlier, and honestly, look, Hrgovic, I'm not gonna call him the boogeyman heavyweight boxing yet because not enough guys have ducked him yet to do that, but. You look at Michael Hunter. He didn't want no smoke. He was more content to go fight on the undercard, to go fight as a second attraction to Jadakiss and Styles P and the Locks and Dipset and the little versus battle, than do what he was supposed to do and fight Hrgovic. Marin Bakoli, his team was flapping their gums, talking about we want the fight. Kyle Sonderland pulls their card. They say no, we don't want the fight. He hasn't boxed since fucking December, so he'd rather be inactive the whole entire 2021 than box Phil Hrgovic. So it hasn't been enough people yet, but that's two notable heavyweights. That's two notable heavyweights that don't want to fight him. So
yeah, did you hear anything about Holyfield going to sue Triller because he's not getting paid for his money?
Sounds about right. Right.
He's not getting paid his money for whatever. He's still under contract and he's not giving the fight, so he's going to sue.
Yeah, Triller. I heard that with Mike Tyson. I heard that with Jones, and I've heard the same thing now with Holyfield.
Yeah.
Wait, how he never fought on Triller?
No, but he was contracted to fight.
So yeah,
so they're wasting time.
He's supposed to be in that Marlon's Park fight. You're right.
So he's angry because they're not giving him no kind of compensation.
That makes sense. Right. And then what's funny is I have a friend that I know from Chicago, or he's from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And he's a DJ, and Triller had a DJ competition for like music, and apparently
they get paid yet?
Not him, but like the person who won the tournament, they didn't pay the DJ either. So it's not just this isn't just exclusive to boxing.
Wow.
Like, this is happening in anything that Triller seems to have their hands involved in. They've been involved in doing some bad business practices,
Wow.
So it's nuts. It's nuts. Mondo Solo says that Hrgovic is the real boogeyman of the heavyweight division. He's gonna take over. And look, I'm gonna say this. I'm high on Hrgovic. I really and truthfully believe when we talk about the guys that could be Tyson Fury and Joshua, like he's not there yet. Obviously, he's got to grow and mature. But I think when he matures, it's curtains, because all you gotta do is just look at his amateur pedigree. Yeah. Look at who he beat in the amateurs. Look who he beat in the Olympics. Look at like this guy was in David Hayes sparring in his camps at 19 years old. There's a video. There's a real famous video here on YouTube of Philip Hrgovic at 19 years old beating the brakes off Deontay Wilder in sparring, and he's getting better and better and better as the years go by. So yeah, I look at him as the next great heavyweight. He's someone that it might look like he's fighting one way on TV, but I'm telling you right now, it's just I've stood next to the ring and I've watched him move and box and slip and throw jabs. It's a lot different in that boxing ring.
Believe me, I feel bad for the supporter. He's got to fight now because he's gonna let all that anger out.
Because he's been pissed. Like Pops, you remember how pissed he was when we went to Munda? How mad was Hrgovic?
Oh man, you can just see in his eyes, like he's like, I said, I told him, just keep your head up and do you. Your time's going to come.
Yeah. King of Sun says, I want Granados to win, but logically he doesn't punch hard and has no head movement. And if he does beat Benn, he's gonna get robbed. But Rosado truly has a shot to beat Jaime Munguia and Berlanga. Gabe has a chin. Yeah. Like, I'm being real. That's why, like, I like that. I want to sit here as his friend,
just talking about that.
And someone that I mean, I think if life was fair, he would beat Benn.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't knock him out, I can't see him getting a decision in front of 20,000 drunk, screaming Brits and Leeds.
Yeah,
I don't see it happening.
It ain't happening.
It's not happening. But if he can knock him out, what a story that would be. What a story that would be if he could knock him out.
He's focused.
And I don't think it's crazy that he can knock him out because Benn isn't the best defensively. And just, I've seen Conor Benn in person, and you can just look at him in pictures and stuff. He's extremely muscle bound. Boy, muscle bound. So I feel like, the first fighter, which this could be it, that takes him to the deep waters can drown him.
Wow.
Shakur, he says, I really want to see Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. I'm Scottish and I love Josh Taylor, but I love Teo just as much. I got Teo. Who do you got, Pops and BT? What is your analysis? Now this fight, you're tugging Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor. Now you're tugging away at my heartstrings. You're tugging away at my heartstrings because on one hand, I love Teo, great fighter. Same thing with Taylor. I love them both. I really don't want to root against either one of them.
But the reality is,
well, I'll let you go first.
I'm a big. I became a big fan of Taylor after my son was telling you for years. You have to watch him fight. I'll be honest with you. Teofimo's got everything that you want in a fighter, but my heart is telling me go with Taylor. I think he's a better skill fighter.
Okay. You got Taylor?
Yeah. Taylor.
Okay. Yeah.
And Taylor came out today saying something about on Sky Sports that he said that he knocked out he knocked down Ugas.
Taylor said he dropped Ugas in sparring. And
Ugas came back.
Ugas came back and said, "You liar! You cheated! You didn't drop me in sparring."
So I don't know. A lot of people say that he did. I don't know, but I mean, you think he's a big guy? Ugas a big guy.
Yeah.
Was he big back then?
Yeah, he was big.
He did. I mean, you actually think that?
I think Taylor did drop him in sparring. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think Taylor dropped him in sparring. My pick for that fight. I mean, I'm not gonna be surprised if Teo could beat Taylor because Taylor has shown many times in the past that he swells, easily and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I've been on the Josh Taylor hype train for a long, long time. The same way I've been on the Teofimo Lopez hype train for a long, long time. So it's like two fighters I really like.
Win for you either way.
But I don't know, man. To me, like, I just really believe in Josh Taylor. I feel like he has just, not saying that Teofimo doesn't have the grit. I think he does have the grit to win these fights. But I feel like if the fight goes to its deepest, darkest, most uncomfortable place, I just think Josh Taylor has a bit more dog in him. He's more of a natural 40-pounder.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what it is, man. But I want to see it. Like, whoever wins, I'm gonna be happy regardless because I like both of them. I just want to see it happen. I just want to see it happen. Shout out to my guy OD327. He says, "You are a little virgin, bro." Well, hey, man. If you ever stood in front of this little virgin, he would slap the fuck out of you. Now, on to the next comment.
Oh, but don't take it personal.
I'm not taking it personal. I'm telling you what happened. A lot of these people want to flap their gums and talk in the comments, but they don't really know what I'm like outside of YouTube. So it's in the best interest.
That's all that matters.
Like,
as long as you know who you are, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Michael Conlon will beat Lee Wood. WBA sucks, but even they don't recognize Lee Wood as a champion. The winner gets Leo Santa Cruz. Man, ever since Lee Wood defeated Zhu Can, Harold's just been on and on about how much he doesn't like Lee Wood because he feels like he's another British hype job.
Seriously?
Yeah, because Eddie Hearn's been talking him up and talking about how Eddie Hearn's been in the zone. He's like, Eddie Hearn with his hair slicked back. He's like, Lee Wood versus Kid Galahad is a massive.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him about that.
That's a massive.
Harold, what do you think about Kid Galahad? What is his name?
Kid Galahad.
Yeah. What does Harold think about that one? Yo, is King Kong gonna fight anybody?
Luis Ortiz?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or just I love the same in Ruiz.
Johnny Berber wants to know Tank versus Josh Taylor. Who do we got? Oh man.
God, Tank is
Listen, man. Hey, I'm picking until Josh Taylor goes to 47. I'm picking him against the field. I'm picking Josh Taylor against the field. So unless your last name is Crawford, I'm not picking anybody against Josh Taylor. I'm picking Josh Taylor against the field. That's really where I'm at with Josh Tayller. And that's why I've been at. I'm gonna stay right there.
Yeah.
Straight up. Aaron Pryor versus Josh Taylor. Who wins? Oh my God! You're asking some real questions.
Ken Norton and Aaron Pryor.
Oh, Ken Norton's heavyweight.
Yeah.
Aaron Pryor versus Josh Taylor. Like that would be a great fight. I feel like Josh could I mean, it's a fantasy fight, so it's never gonna happen. But if Josh Taylor gets touched up as much as he did against Prograis, I think Aaron Pryor might get him out of there.
Pryor's a beast, man.
He might get him out of there because you can't. It's one thing to get touched up by Prograis and these other guys, but Pryor punching different. Yeah. Especially even if Panama Lewis is feeding in that bottle with the special stuff, just in time for my main man, 50 grand, Johnny Cortijo. He says Oscar Valdez can fight even with his B sample being popped. Yeah, we touched on that earlier. We know how that gym gets down.
We were just talking about him too.
We were just talking about it because
wow, he came out.
I remember, Johnny, when I FaceTimed you the night after that fight, and you said, "Oh my God, he hit Burchett with all that clenbuterol in the system," and now it turns out he had some shit in the system. So, people accuse boxing fans of being cynical, assholes, but sometimes being cynical assholes works out in our favor because we have reason. We have reason to be suspicious. You know what I'm saying?
Comes around.
So it's a bad message. It was a bad message that what happened with what's his name a couple years ago, and it's a bad message they're sending here. Hyro says that Kid Galahad looks like Kell Brook.
Oh shit!
Because he's from Sheffield. Everybody from I'm sorry, but everybody from Sheffield look the same.
Are you serious?
Like Kid Galahad, Nazim Hamed, Kell Brook, they all look kind of similar, straight up. Johnny says, I told you that Oscar Valdez, he wasn't even sweating. Bro, remember I told you.
Oh my God. Johnny called it?
He was saying that. He was saying that,
Johnny be saying some stuff that's real, though.
It's real. It sounds crazy. But
off the phone, off here, too.
Yeah, he be saying some crazy shit, but it winds up back to Johnny. Respect to Johnny, A lot of people don't understand, man. I'm gonna say this. I know we all love boxing. I know we love boxing. We're all boxing fans, so that's why we're here. That's why I have a channel and I've been able to cover the sport, But like the boxing game is very, 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 very. It's a deep, dark place. It is. Like, I'm sorry. Some people don't want me to say that. Some people don't want me to tell you guys that it's corrupt, but it is corrupt. And I'm not telling you guys things you already know. It was corrupt before me. It was being corrupt while I've been here, and it'll be corrupt long after I'm gone and I'm dead and 6 feet in the ground. Okay. It was corrupt when Frankie Carbo and the Blicky Palermo and the Italian Mafia was running things. So it's not anything new. David Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev. Who do I got? My man, pound for pound, King Canelo. I like how he's fight.
I'm taking Benavidez. The beast, young beast.
I'll go Benavidez. I think Artur Beterbiev, a fantastic fighter, devastating fighter, but very shop worn. Very shop worn. Yeah. Very shop worn. FSRSA says if Bud doesn't fight Porter, he's a fraud. His best win is Yuriorkis Gamboa, and that's a decade ago. Well, I don't. First of all, if the fight doesn't happen, I highly doubt it's not gonna happen because of Crawford. I think it's gonna happen because of Al Heyman and PBC.
Well, we said that before.
But look, let all that aside, how is a guy who's a Ring Magazine champion in 2 separate weight classes, undisputed champion in another weight class, and a guy that successfully got the majority of the welterweight division to not fight him? How is that guy a fraud? Fane, that guy sounds like he's pretty good. It sounds like he's one of the most skilled fighters in boxing. You know what I'm saying? King Hassan out here preaching the gospel, saying that once Boots becomes mandatory for Earl Spence's IBF strap, Spence is going to swim away from danger like a shark and drop the belt. Boots should know he's a high risk, low reward. Just to tell Al to make the fight. I mean, if only it were that damn easy, If only that was that damn easy, I've already said that. I don't know if you've seen the video, the last Boots video I made, but I said that. I said, look, I really feel like once this guy gets to a mandatory spot, they're not gonna fight him because I think one day he'll be a guy that could be a star, but he's not there yet. And Spence and Crawford, these guys looking for it.
Yo, what do you think about Isaac Chamberlain? He's got a fight coming up. Whenever we see him go for like the big belts, the big titles and stuff.
Isaac Chamberlain?
Yeah, man. I want to.
He's got.
I his contract. I'm blessing him. He's doing good over there. He's getting more actively and everything. But is he gonna fight just UK fighters and that's it?
I mean, that's all there is at cruiserweight.
I'm just saying, he gotta move out of there, do something.
Nah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
You don't think there's an American cruiserweight he could fight?
Of course, there's American cruiserweights.
Who are we just talking about?
I'm not even sure. The thing is with him, I'm not even sure if he's gonna be a cruiserweight. He might go to bridgerweight.
You think so?
He might go. We don't know what's gonna happen with Isaac.
I like Isaac.
Let me see. BT, I think Canelo only loses to Benavidez, or I think he has the best chance. Andre, Plant, Bivol, Better BF all lose to the pound for pound king. Well, I don't know who this pound for pound king you speak of, but we're not talking about pound for pound king. We're talking about Canelo. As far as I disagree with obviously him losing to Google Andre, but I respect your opinion. I think where I do agree with you is I think if Canelo were to fight BF, he would beat the living shit out of BF. I've been saying that for a long time. Bivol, I think Bivol would be a tough fight for him. But I think he could beat him right now because Bivol hasn't been active. Bivol's getting older. So I think right now it would actually be a good time to fight Bivol. That's what that actually I'm surprised the Bivol fight didn't happen because if I'm Canelo, right? If I'm Canelo, if I was Eddie Reynoso, this time I know Eddie Reynoso ain't watching boxing like that. If he would have watched Bivol's last fight, I guarantee you this fight would happen. I guarantee you they did not watch Bivol's last fight. Wow. Because if they would have watched Bivol's last fight against Craig Richards, they would have been fighting Bivol. No way about it. He did not look good against Craig Richards.
Did he? Oh,
yeah? He did not look good.
Wow.
So, they might have made the wrong decision. Who has he beaten at welterweight? The era of 5,000 titles and 5,000 weight divisions. Crawford looks amazing, but let's see him versus the elites of 147. Who has beat a welterweight? Okay, well, you're probably comparing him to all the guys that have been welterweights their entire career. He's only been a welterweight for 3 years. He moved to welterweight in 2018. Who did he beat at welterweight? Well, he didn't wait. When he got to welterweight, he did what he had to do to position himself for the big fights at welterweight. He didn't waste no time. He went straight to Jeff Horn. I know people are going to say Jeff Horn is trash, which I don't agree with. Jeff Horn was a guy that gave Manny Pacquiao a great fight. I didn't think he won, but he gave him a great fight. He was an Olympian. He beat Ali Funeka and Randall Bailey coming up. Those are good veteran fighters. Especially Randall Bailey. Randall Bailey was old when Jeff Horn fought him, but he still beat him on the way up. So you can't be a bum and beat Randall Bailey on the way up as a young prospect. If he was garbage, Randall Bailey would have knocked his bitch ass out. Mm-hmm. That's how that would have happened. As far as the era of 5,000 titles and 5,000 divisions, well, look, you can say what you want, but in the era of 5,000 titles, he was in a weight class with those 5,000 titles, and he made sure he had all of them, which is something that very few fighters do these days. So, undisputed. Only Teofimo, Usyk, Crawford, Taylor. Josh Taylor, and that's it. And the winner of Plant versus Canelo. Those are only 5 people that are active right now that can say, right now it's only 4. Only 4 people that are active right now that can say they were undisputed, and he's one of them. So you can say what you want, but if Terence Crawford was a bum, he would have found a way to look bad against Felix Diaz.
I wouldn't want to fight him. I'll put it at that.
He said, King Hassan, Jaron Ennis versus Harold Calderon. Oh, man. You really asked me this, champ, right now?
Is he being serious about that?
Being serious. Look, I love Harold Calderon. He's one of South Florida's very own. I wish Harold Calderon the best, but I'm going to tell you this right now.
He ain't ready for no
damn Jaron Ennis. I love Harold, and listen, if this gets to him, I don't even care. I'll keep it a buck. I'll tell Harold right to his face. Look, Harold got to tighten up. I was at Harold, not his last fight, but I was at his fight.
With all due respect,
when he fought the Argentine. And listen, Harold ain't look, y'all. The way people want to talk about Demetrius Andrade and these world champions that people say don't fight nobody. I'll be honest, Harold isn't fighting nobody, and Harold has to really improve and tighten up his skills all the way around the board if he wants to even think of having a chance against Jaron Ennis. I'll tell you this, he going there fighting the way he's been fighting against some of these guys at the Doubletree Airport at the Hilton in Miami, he'll wind up looking like Armando Alvarez. For any of you who really watched Jaron Ennis, if you've seen that Armando Alvarez fight, it's very hard for a fighter to get embarrassed the way Armando Alvarez got embarrassed. So I like Harold, but he better tighten up, You know,
You just calling
how I see it. Listen, I want him to win. He's one of South Florida's very own. It'd be great if he beat Jerron Ennis because then I could talk my South Florida shit. But I'm being honest. I don't think he got it right. I don't think he's got it to beat Jerron Ennis.
We have the discussion before too. You and I.
Yeah, we had me and my pops have these discussions all the time. Yeah, you know, I agree. Shout out to my man. He says Crawford beats everybody at 147. My man. I don't judge fights or fighters by resume. Otherwise, the sport would never evolve because the favorite would always win. I'm a big eye test. That's why I think Boots will beat everybody at 147. And yeah, you know, I like that.
George Ortiz?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I cannot see it.
Yes.
No. There is no. He might have better foot speed, better head movement, better movement.
You know how that
but
fight's gonna play out?
I don't think he's gonna stop.
You know how that fight's gonna play out?
Come forward and knock the shit out of him.
You know how that fight's gonna play out? It's gonna play out like Josh. It's gonna play out like
and
Josh.
Just like you were talking about him being chinny. What do you think about that? Do you think Jerron has a strong chin? Yeah.
Pound for pound, King Canelo.
Yeah.
That's his name.
That's his name.
That's his name. Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll be Virgil Ortiz. I just don't see it.
You know how that fight's gonna play out?
Oh, come on. It's
gonna play out like Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez. And Jerron Ennis is gonna be Josh Taylor. It might even be worse than Josh. Nah, I'm joking. I'm talking trash, but I like Boots. I like his style. I'm not gonna lie. I like his style.
Did you say his dad would say that 15 fighters didn't want to fight him? Did he tell him something like that?
Yeah, Boosty Ennis did an interview and he said that Jerron Ennis, it was so hard for him to get a fight that 15 fighters turned down to fight with him recently. Jeez. And that's why, you know, we get and you know what? I believe it because you know how far down in the pecking order in the welterweight division you gotta go to before you get to Thomas Delorme?
Oh my God, you're right.
You're like, come on, man.
No disrespect, but we just Wow.
I mean, I like Delorme, good Puerto Rican fighter, but like, you know, he's not that high in the pecking order of the welterweight. So for them to get to that point,
you give us props too to Delorme. Jesus, 15 guys.
15 guys, man.
Are you buff better than that? Probably turn them down.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Jerron Ennis does. You know, hopefully, you know, I'll tell you guys a welterweight that I like, and he hasn't got those big fights.
He's one time terminated him. Go ahead.
Who? He ain't gonna fight Jerron Ennis.
You won't?
That's not happening. These guys are not fighting Jerron Ennis. I'll tell you.
Time is pretty quick.
Let me tell you about a fight. I'm gonna tell you guys about a fight that's actually realistic that I think will happen in the next year or two, and it's actually a good fight. And I think Pops will agree with me when I tell you this. I think a good fight for Jerron Ennis. And you guys might not know who this is, but I think a good fight for Jerron Ennis would be Jerron Ennis versus Pete Dobson, Pistol Pete.
Oh, hell.
That'd be a good fight.
Woo!
Like, that would be a good fight.
Oh, my God.
Pete Dobson, for those of you who don't know, he's 14-0, like 9 KOs, but very experienced. He's actually been in camp with Jerron Ennis, and they actually are pretty familiar with each other. So I feel like that would be the kind of fight that we need to be seeing in the welterweight division. If Boots can't get these big fights against, you know, the guys we want to see, I think Boots,
wake up.
You know, Pistol Pete, you know, I don't want to see because I feel like it would be a damn execution if they fought. But like Harold Calderon, I don't want to see that fight.
No, man, that's like a butcher.
That would be good. That would be good. And look, Harold Calderon, Harold Calderon has a manager named Gary Lewis that's behind him now. Gary Lewis was one of the top matchmakers at PBC. He started his own promotional company. Right. He's now behind Harold Calderon. I'm very sure Gary Lewis would never make that fight with Jerron Ennis and Harold Calderon. And if he did, you can bet your eyes he's going to get paid well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know? So we'll see.
Keep your eye on Pistol Pete.
Keep your eye on Pistol Pete Dobson. That's someone, you know, that I got some high hopes for in the welterweight division. I think he's going places, and he's going there fast. In a year or two, what's going to wind up happening is you guys going to hear about this guy. He's going to take a fight on short notice, like on Showbox or something like that, and he's going to win. He's going to win.
You just turned a big fight down.
Yeah, we can't tell you who it was, but he just
a big fight
he got offered a big fight in the welterweight division.
Jeez. And he was like, nah, not yet.
And they said, not yet. One day, but not yet.
It's coming.
You know? King of Song, what's good? Champion says, in my opinion, Boots beats Virgil Ortiz. Ortiz is too robotic, and the pressure fighters don't like fighting backwards. Boots is from Philly, so Ortiz's power doesn't scare him. Boots is too slick, big puncher, fast hands, and good defense. Well,
I respect that.
I like that. I
like that. What he said.
Yeah, I think he'll beat him because he's the more skilled fighter. Now, the only way he wouldn't beat him is if that chin, if he got that Amir Khan chin.
He keeps saying that.
Cause it's the only
Do
thing.
you feel he's got a weak chin?
No,
Oh, you just,
I just haven't seen it tested.
okay, so
And they always say that the best chins in boxing are the ones that are untested.
yeah, but he's fighting this guy right here. I mean, DeLorme. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, DeLorme.
He's not. I'm no disrespecting Porter to fight, but he's not the elite of the elites in that weight class. The power, he got more power than Ennis. Come on.
Who?
DeLorme. No, I don't think he.
It's not about him having more power. It's just
you gotta
about
have power, not hit the button that chin.
No, you don't. You can have power and not land the whole fight.
But I'm saying you
gotta land the power. It's about landing the power.
Yes, but the thing that I would give Ennis is his quickness and speed. He's quick. I ain't gonna lie about that. You're not gonna stand on the
Man, people are really trying to see how much I believe in Josh Taylor. Someone said, Gerard Ennis versus Josh Taylor. Who you got?
Yes, me.
I'll ask you. Go.
I'm gonna stick with Taylor. I mean, I think the quickness, speed, the skills that Ennis got, that will play a big part in the fight. But I'm a firm believer in it. And again, experience. I'm taking Taylor.
You taking Josh Taylor? Hey, y'all heard me correctly the first time. I said unless your last name is Crawford, I'm taking Josh Taylor against the field. So that applies to him too.
Yeah.
That applies to him too.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, but if people avoiding Ennis that much, I mean,
I bet you Josh Taylor wouldn't avoid him. I guarantee you.
And I tell you another person, Roberto Ortiz ain't avoiding me either. He'll take him too.
Golden Boy Promotions is avoiding.
Yeah.
Aaron Gomez is avoiding him.
That's crazy, but
Oscar De La Hoya is avoiding him.
Damn,
you know. Now Hiro wants to know because this is what Hiro wants to know. How the hell is Kayaguchi a Ring Magazine champion? It makes me sick. How is a small fighter fight a smaller fighter? So he's sick because Kayaguchi. You know Kayaguchi, the 108-pound champion. He's managed by Canelo.
Managed by Canelo.
I mean Eddie Reynoso.
Okay.
And he's the Ring Magazine champion. So Hiro's me and Hiro have been talking the last couple of days on the phone, and he's been telling me like he doesn't like how Kayaguchi's the Ring Magazine champion because he thinks he sucks. Because he watched him fight on the Charlie Tito undercard, and he fought a guy that's probably like shorter than you.
He wasn't pleased with that.
He wasn't pleased with it, so he's trying to wrap his mind around how the hell this guy got the ring belt. I don't know, man. I don't know. We know that for Kayaguchi, he better keep his ass away from Kenshiro because Kenshiro gonna chop his ass up if they fight. He said, "I'm from Cleveland. What do y'all think about Montana Love? I know him personally." Oh, shout out to you, man. I like Montana Love. I want to interview him one day. As far as Montana Love, I've always liked Montana Love. You know, you can go back on this channel. For those of you who don't know, I have a prospect review series. So I've been doing this for a couple of years on and off. And one of the first prospect review videos I ever did was on Montana Love. It's actually my most popular one out of all of them that I've done so far. I've done about 30 of them. It's the most popular one. You
actually said that this fight that showed you a lot.
And I've always liked Montana Love, going back to the days of when I saw him on Showbox and he fought Tsunami Samuel Tay on Showbox. He fought him on show. There was move of the weight class and outboxed him easily. And I knew then that he was a solid fighter. But this last fight
showed you more than what you expected.
This last fight with Barancek, I know Barancek was shot worn and he was coming up to pay the fight, so I get all that. But it was still the most dangerous fighter that he fought in his career. And he did go through a little bit of adversity. It wasn't like Barancek didn't hit him with some big shots. He took big shots.
Yeah.
He was fighting back, and it got to a point where he was walking him down. So we saw Montana Love the boxer, we saw Montana Love the slugger, and we saw Montana Love the fighter all in one. And I really loved what I saw from him. And I feel like, look, if you're good enough to beat the Baranceks of the world, then give him Jose Cepeda, give him Regis Prograis, give him the names, some top names.
What do you say? I used to fight in empty stadiums.
So I used to fight in empty gyms in Cleveland. Now I'm fighting with the Cavs play.
So I mean, yeah, you gotta respect that. I mean, and I'll tell you, I didn't like his antics inside the ring, all that dancing, all that bullshit.
He's confident.
I think, yeah, no, I'm just saying. But now that I see what he did the other night, it opened up my eyes a little bit more.
He got the two pretty nails.
Stop being just judgmental. Him being just doing his having fun in the ring.
He got the two pretty nail salon too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hiro says Josh Taylor is so good he has to fight at 168. That's what Hiro's saying.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm joking. I don't think he's gonna go up that high, but. Shakur wants to know how far can Josh Taylor go? Listen, man, y'all might think I'm crazy, but I really believe in Josh Taylor. Always have, and until proven otherwise, I always will. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he goes to 147 and beat up Crawford.
He wants to fight Crawford.
Straight up.
That's one of his things.
He want to fight Crawford, so I'm fingers crossed, God willing, he goes in there and does what he needs to do against Catterall in December. But listen, I really want to see I want to see Josh Taylor fight Crawford. That's the fight, you know.
You did that happen here in the States, or
that's got to happen in the States. I think that's
still some more in the States.
That's a Las Vegas fight. Yeah, no, they're gonna fight in Las Vegas. They're gonna fight Las Vegas at either the Virgin Hotel or they're gonna fight the MGM Grand. In fact, that fight, you know, I'm being honest with you guys, that fight, if promoted properly, and I have to say if because we know Bob Arum only likes to promote for Lomachenko. If that fight is promoted properly, that fight could be an MGM Grand fight because I could see 2,000 or 3,000 Scottish people coming here and. You know, and that's a big fight. It's not too many. It's not too many fights. It's not too many fights where you can say are worthy of the MGM Grand. But when you consider the fact that it's the two of the last 140-pound undisputed champions fighting each other at 147 for a world title, you know, what more do you want? It's a hell of a fight. It's a hell of a fight.
You think Camposa's got a chance with Teofimo?
Everybody got a chance. Bobby Hill don't have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a chance. I do. The longer Teofimo stays at 135, the more anybody has a chance when they fight him. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm telling you, these Cleveland fighters are extremely tough like Philly. It's an East Coast thing. Well, listen, I think I don't really classify Philadelphia. I don't classify Cleveland fighters as East Coast. They're Midwest fighters. Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, that's Midwest. I'll be honest. Listen, you might crucify me.
Anderson from Ohio.
Yeah.
He no joke.
Midwest though. You might crucify me, but I actually think the newer generation of the East Coast fighters are not like the older generation of the East Coast fighters. I don't kill the messenger. Yeah. But I think East Coast fighters now that toughness ain't what it used to be, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. There's some tough fighters, but it ain't like the 80s or the 70s or the 90s.
Dubois versus the Dream Bryant, who wins?
Who wins? The fans. And I'll say this. I think Dubois should win that fight. If they do fight, I think Daniel Dubois is a sharper puncher. I think Daniel Dubois. I don't know. I don't even want to pick Dubois because the last time I picked him, he was like this on the floor.
You didn't see his last performance. What do you think of it?
He didn't fight nobody. He fought freaking. He fought Giuseppe. He fought Giuseppe the crate maker. He didn't fight nobody.
I got them real quick. It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Shakur says, and BT, when I come to the U.S. one day, I'm trying to spar. You can get the smoke, champ. Yeah. I ain't turned down no work. So make it happen.
So you don't rank Dubois nothing right now. You still think he's got to earn some stripes over Joyce?
Yeah, why not? Let's see. Crawford is overrated as fuck. If you gave his resume to any other fighter, they wouldn't be considered pound for pound, let alone top 3. That's not true because Canelo Alvarez is considered the pound for pound number 1. So you can't say that. You can't say that, champ. You can't say that. Any fighter who wins a Ring Magazine belt in 2 weight classes, goes undisputed, and then has half the weight class ducking them, they're gonna be in the top 3 pound for pound. It just listen. Just being undisputed alone is gonna get you on the pound for pound list. All right, just being undisputed alone. That's why Josh Taylor is top 5 pound for pound. That's why Teofimo Lopez is top 5 pound for pound because they're undisputed champions. And if you don't like it, then tell your favorite fighter to go snatch up all the rest of the belts in their weight class and do what Crawford did at 140 years ago. You got fighters now. You got fighters now, right? That are being praised for trying to become undisputed. Crawford did that shit like 3 years ago.
Give some respect. Respect his name.
Then y'all trying to protect him with some bullshit. He's as overrated as Canelo. Both can fight, but they enjoy smart pickings. Oh, that's a balanced comment. I'll give you that. But what bullshit are we protecting him with? So Victor Postal, right? When he fought Victor Postal, was Victor Postal a bum? Because I don't think Victor Postal was a bum. Victor Postal has proven on multiple occasions against Taylor and Ramirez that he's not a bum, and he beat Postal easier than both those guys did. And truthfully, I don't even think Ramirez beat Postal. I think Postal beat Ramirez, and the wrong guy got a decision. You know, but I can see what you're saying. Obviously, Crawford hasn't got the best fights. I get where you're coming from. I fully understand. I want to see him fight the best guys. But to say that he's overrated as fuck is ridiculous. Anybody that can go in there at the world championship level and dominate the way he has and display the skill set he has, you know, different styles against different styles, small fighters, tall, rangy fighters, short, stocky fighters, gold medalists, you know. You know what's funny, Puff? People are funny. I remember when Felix Diaz fought Lamont Peterson.
Okay.
And he, people are like, Felix Diaz, he's a good welterweight. Felix Diaz is a dark horse of the division, right? He beat Lamont Peterson. Terence Crawford beats the shit out of him. Nobody bats an eye.
They didn't even say nothing.
Beats a guy who won a gold medal. Beats the living shit out of him. Nobody bats an eye about it. But then they want to say he's overrated. How many gold medalists has Canelo beat? Yeah, that's a good question. How many gold medalists has Canelo Alvarez beat? Because was Callum Smith the gold medalist? No. Rocky Fielding wasn't a gold medalist. No. Billy Joe wasn't a gold medalist. How many gold? That's the homework for tonight. How many gold medalists has Canelo Alvarez beat? Because I know I can name one. I can name one that Crawford beat. His name was Felix Diaz. And when he beat Felix Diaz, it wasn't too long after he had just fought Lamont Peterson, and people were saying that he was this dark horse of the welterweight division. Danny Garcia beat a gold. He did. Danny Garcia has beat more gold medalists than Canelo. If you want to be honest. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, no, he didn't. Amir Khan was a silver medalist. He wasn't a gold medalist. Who else did he beat?
Who Danny?
Thing is, Danny hasn't won a fight in years, so we don't.
Where's Paul at?
Where's Paul at? He might come out. I better calm down. If Paul hear that. Yeah. Oh yeah, he beat 2 gold medalists. He beat Crawford, beat Diaz, and he beat Gamboa. Wow. Come on, man. Y'all gonna sit here? Canelo's beating 3 Hall of Famers, and I'm counting Lara as a Hall of Famer. I'll give you Lara. What other Hall of Famers did he beat? Because he didn't beat Golovkin. He didn't beat Golovkin. They gave it to him. Let me see. The top 5 pound for pound is Josh Taylor, Tio, Usyk, and Crawford. That's it. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Right now, y'all can hate it or love it. But because nobody's in, personally, I don't think anybody in boxing is pound number 1. But if I had to give one by default, it's gonna go to Josh Taylor. He's the only one that's doing what he's supposed to do. He's the only one in boxing who's actually doing what he's supposed to do.
What do you say about Josh Taylor about Teofimo? He didn't win his. Or...
Josh Taylor trying to say that Teofimo didn't go undisputed, which I don't agree with, but
Yeah.
That's an amateur accomplishment, though. Okay. So it should be easy for Canelo to find one to beat, but he hasn't beat any of them. I'm not saying he isn't an amazing skill fighter, but the name of the game is what have you done for me lately? He had an opportunity to fight Spence, and he himself in their first meeting said 60-40. Listen, when it comes to them, I'm not gonna go tit for tat for you on who said what and whatnot. But they both have said bullshit. Crawford said bullshit. Earl said bullshit. They both played a role in that fight not happening. And they both pissed away a chance of not fighting Manny Pacquiao. So I'm not going to go tit for tat. I think they're both divas to an extent. As far as what have you done for me lately? I mean, he hasn't done anything because he hasn't fought in a year. But if you look at what he's done the last 3 years, it's more than most people in boxing. GGG, Lara, Mosley, and Cotto. So Triple G in 2 controversial fights. I'll give you Lara. I think he beat Lara legitimately, but some people might say it's controversial. Mosley was old as molasses. Old when he fought Canelo. I don't even know how you give him that to Canelo. Cotto, I'll give you Cotto, but like, were they star-making performances at the highest order? Like, are you gonna, if we compare those level of performances to Crawford level performances, I mean, it's not even remotely close. GGG, yeah, Canelo Alvarez was stalling out GGG, creating weight classes, talking about all this nonsense. And Shane Mosley, like, look, I like Shane Mosley. I met him. He was a favorite of mine when I was a kid. But, he was a cheater. He took EPO in the system. Victor Conti stuck a needle in his ass. And that's number 1. And number 2, I think it's debatable whether or not he's a Hall of Famer. Like, I think that's very, very debatable. So I'm not sure I can give you that one. But I'll give you GGG and I'll give you Lara. So I'll give you those 2. Cotto, Pops might hate me for this. I think Cotto was overrated. I think Cotto was overrated. Cotto lost most of his big fights. Like Cotto was a very talented fighter, but he lost most of his big fights. That's the reality. Why haven't Canelo fought Crawford or Spence? That's true. He likes fighting all these small guys. He's been doing it his whole career.
All over the place. You don't see him in place.
Not to mention, he could have fought Porter years ago, man. Not to mention, he could have fought Porter years ago. He chose not to. same as Virgil Ortiz. Then he could have fought Taylor, but was going to originally fight Zepeda for an opponent, and he and Canelo are similar. When I don't remember that the same way as you, because I clearly remember when Porter was champion, Porter did not want to unify with him. I vividly remember that they only wanted to fight guys in WBC rankings, and there was he didn't want to fight Crawford when he was champion. The talk with Crawford and Porter didn't begin until Porter lost his belt. Then all of a sudden he wanted to fight Crawford because he had nothing to offer. So I don't agree with that. Virgil Ortiz has only been in the picture for a short amount of time. He was saying that Virgil Ortiz, he said earlier in the year that Virgil Ortiz needs to work his way up and he's too young, which was whatever back then. And I actually think he should fight Virgil Ortiz, but he hasn't said it ever since Virgil Ortiz became Kyle Lutz. He hasn't said that now. So, we don't even know what Crawford's going to do next. So you can't really put Virgil on him yet. But if it continues for another 4 or 5 months, I'll give you Virgil. He could have fought Taylor. How could he have fought Taylor when Taylor is supposed to fight Jack Catterall? Taylor's supposed to fight Jack Catterall. It's a mandatory. He wants to go box in Scotland. He hasn't boxed there for a little bit of time. So he's gonna go defend against Cat. So how did he? He hasn't ducked Josh Taylor yet. He hasn't ducked Virgil Ortiz yet. So you're saying things. He and Canelo are similar, and they're absolutely not similar. Canelo Alvarez is a spoon-fed, protected fighter that's been protected since the first day he fought for a world title. Terence Crawford has gone undisputed, been lineal champion in multiple weight classes, and has never once had a controversial fight. Do you know how rare that is in boxing? He has never, in 34 fights, most of them at the championship level of boxing, he's never had a controversial fight. He has not gone the distance in like 8 fights. He hasn't gone the distance since he fought Victor Postol in 20. He has not gone 12 rounds in half of a freaking decade. The last time Terence Crawford went the distance as a fighter in the professional ranks, fucking Barack Obama was our president. All right.
He takes care of business right away. He didn't play.
So I respect your opinion. I respect your perspective, but I don't see it that way, because one guy has literally been manufactured into a star from the day he was, got to the States. One guy was a fighter that didn't really do much in the amateurs and had to kind of slip through the cracks, had to work his way up to get to where he was at. So it's not the same thing. But listen, guys, I think on that note, Pops is getting tired. It's like almost 11 o'clock here. I got other things I got to do as well for the channel. But listen, we'll be live. I think I'll be live tomorrow. So, come through tomorrow if you guys want to talk some more boxing tomorrow. We'll be live Saturday for the Adrian Granados Conor Benn fight. So make sure you guys don't make no plans and join us for that. And man, just continue supporting the channel. Thank you for being here. Continue definitely supporting the channel, the real boxing content. And we're gonna keep making this thing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, man.
Like help and everything.
Yeah,
thank you for your comments, good or bad.
Good, bad, or indifferent. We appreciate everybody. So with that being said, you guys take care of yourself. Be good. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.